What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Wow.
Come on, wait. I do this shit with no pressure. Run up the backers and put up the extra. You cannot step up the steppers. You can't put dirt on a nigga that's clean.
My Rockhard harness bars finally showed up. So I'm working on getting those, the front and rear bars, installed in the Jeep. Me and two of my brothers, we've already started on getting the rear harness bar put in, and it's a bitch. You only have to drill 2 holes, but drilling into the factory cage is a pain in the ass. This is what I've got so far. So you have to drill 1 hole on each side up the back of the cage, like that, and then you use the factory seat belt, the bolt that's right here, that comes out and it like slides behind it, and then you put it back and tighten that up, and then you got obviously your 2 bolts. Those holes are already pre-drilled. So the bar's in, the holes are drilled. It was nut certs on the cage. Again, it was a pain in the ass. Rockhard supplies a 1/4 inch bit, and it works once and then it's trash. So we had to kind of use some of our own drill bits and stuff to try and get it, and then we ended up getting like a tree die to be able to get the hole the exact size for the nut cert to go in. But everything's still raw, so we got to take it out, and then I'm actually on the rear harness bar. I'm gonna cut off, there's the 3 loops, 1, 2, and 3 for the harnesses to feed through, but if you kind of look at it, they don't really line up for my harnesses necessarily. So I think it'd look funny if I tried to like have them, if they were mounted, if they were put in there and they were crooked, I think it'd look funny. Or if I only had the 1 strap in there and the other one out, it would again look weird. So I'm gonna actually, before I paint it, I'm gonna cut those off and grind it down, and then get everything coated to put it back in for the final install, and then finish up, button up the rear harnesses. But I still gotta do the front harness bar. It's right here in the box with all the hardware. That's 4 bolts on each side. So come over to the Jeep. They mount to the B-pillar. So this is the back door. So if you come in, they're gonna mount somewhere in this area, and then go all the way across and do the same thing over there. Like I said, 4 bolts each side. It's probably gonna be a bitch to drill those holes too, so I'm not looking forward to that. I had to go by Home Depot and pick up a bunch of bits just in case. Hopefully it's a little bit easier than the rear was, but I'm not gonna hold my breath for that. So yeah, that's what we've got going. Again, once we get to the front seats, you guys will see more of that, and getting the Motobilt brackets are all over here for the front. All these fun brackets, and everything that I'm putting in is going to be coated in gray steel. In case you like the color, like the look of it, that's what I'm using. All right, so we're moving on. We're taking out the front seats now. Looks like there's 4 T50 Torx bolts on each side. There's 2 on the front and then 2 in the rear. I've already taken out the ones on the front. Well, let me show you back here. Working on getting the rear ones out. That side should be done. I think it should be ready to pull out on the passenger side if all those bolts are out. I think it's just the 4, 2 in the front, 2 in the rear. Obviously there's wiring, so we got to see what needs to be disconnected and what can stay connected to take the seats out, or what we got to do for making everything work with the JL electronics. So stay tuned for that. All right, so we got the front seats pulled out. So it was the 4 T50 Torx bolts on each side, 2 in the front. I don't know what I'm filming. 2 in the front, 2 in the rear, and then that loosened up the seat. So then what we did was we leaned the seats back because I knew there was still wiring connected to the bottom, and I wasn't sure what all had to come out. So it's basically gutted out. No more seats. Carter, no more seats. And this is what you're left with inside of the Jeep. Once you get there's 2 harnesses that have to be disconnected. This is your main harness. All you do is you pull the red clip back and you push down, and it separates. A little bit of wiggle might. And then I believe this is your airbag harness, the yellow one here. Same concept, just the red clip that slides up and down. You pull it down, push the little tab in, and it'll pull out and disconnect. Now this is the passenger seat as it sits right now. There is a little bit of stuff left underneath, but I'll show you. I wanted to do one seat at a time to make sure that what I wanted to do would work, and I didn't fuck anything up too far past the point of replacing it or getting it put back together. So on the driver's side, this is what we're left with on the driver's side. So this is the harness that I just showed you, the yellow airbag harness from the passenger side. It's the exact same on the driver. And then this was the harness you disconnected, the main wiring harness for the seats. So I've gone ahead and I plugged in, I took the passenger side seat out, the harness, the wiring, off the actual seat itself. And it has just a bunch of little tree clips, whatever you want to call them, pop-in clips, push-in clips, that you have to take out, or at least that's what I did, was took them out. And then disconnected your seat belt. So it's a T50 Torx bolt on the side, if I can find the right side. Take that off the seat, and then the harness is this one here. You can kind of follow it from the seat belt, it goes all the way to it. So follow that up and unplug that, pull the harness, everything out, and then I reconnected it. So what I did is I bought these little seatbelt dummy clips from Amazon, because I knew that there was going to be a seatbelt issue. And with the JLs and the electronics and stuff, if you have your door open and your seatbelt off, the vehicle will auto park itself. Now, again, the intention is to run the full harnesses, so I won't have a seatbelt to hook up. If the door's closed, it's not an issue, but if the doors are actually taken off the Jeep, or at some point if I get half doors or something like that, that's not the factory wiring harness, it'll throw that. And so the Jeep thinks that, okay, a door's not closed and you're not wearing your seatbelt, so auto park will be engaged. So that's the solution, I think. Again, this is my first time doing this as I'm making the video, so I'm trying to explain to you guys as best I can, but I'm also learning for myself. So what we've got, I'll show you. Plug that back in. So this is the driver's seat here. So this is what all the wiring and everything looks like underneath the seat when you take it out. Again, you had to unclip, so the seat is in this orientation. So this is the front of the seat where your legs would be. So you have your main wiring harness, the black one there, and then this is what I said I believe is the airbag, your airbag harness here, all the wiring for that. And so you have to undo what I believe it's both of those, these two, to actually get the seat out. And then you're left with all of this wiring and fancy bullshit, whatever you want to call it, when that's done. So again, this is what I'm doing. You might want to do it a different way, but I found you just, like I said, disconnect the harnesses you can disconnect from the actual seat, because the only thing that I'm concerned about, I know the airbags is going to be fucked from here on out, and I'm fine with that. So to each their own. If you don't want to run without airbags, doing seats is probably not your best friend unless you can figure out a way to wire everything up to have it read in the Jeep's computer factory. My thing is just that auto park. So this is the entire harness. This is all of the wiring that was underneath the seat, and I need it for this connection, which leads to the seat belt, and then it's all wired into one for the main harness. So I just took everything else out. You can see there's empty harnesses here, empty harness here. If I can grab it right there. So that stuff's not going to be put back to use, at least for me. I don't know if you want to do something. And then my plan is basically I'm going to try and pull the carpet back underneath and just kind of tuck all the bullshit under there, so it looks somewhat clean. And then so we're gonna work on getting those harnesses pulled out. Carter's working on it right now, getting those, like I said, just some tabs and stuff. You gotta pull them out and get everything disconnected that you can. So he's working on that. It's great to have help. I'm glad that they're helping me. The rear harness bar, I got it out actually outside. I'm getting it coated. So gray steel it, like I said. And again, I cut off, these are the three harness bar tabs, whatever you want to call them, that I cut off with the grinder, and then got a flat disc to kind of smooth everything out as best I could. So that's got a first coat on part of it. I'm gonna flip it and paint it again, but it's a project, so it's taking a little while, but it's good and it is what it is. So but yeah, we're gonna get back to it. Sorry if this isn't what you were hoping it was gonna be. Again, I'm still trying to learn and figure out. I'm just trying to help give you guys tips and tricks. I went ahead, actually, before I only did one seat at a time, and I recommend you do this too. I did the passenger seat first, took all the wiring out. I took all of the wiring out of the passenger seat and left the driver's seat alone for the time being, when I first got everything taken out, because I wanted to fuck up one seat only if that was the case. I didn't want to not be able to drive it, not be able to put the driver's seat back in if I had to go somewhere. So I got that taken out and I put the harness back in, plugged it in. That's why everything was dummied up on the driver's side. Everything was plugged back in, because I actually turned the Jeep on and wanted to make sure that it was drivable. And I did have the airbag light come on, and I knew, like I said, I knew that was going to be the case. But I'll show you guys the dash lights. So again, this is with, I'll undo the dummy clip. So it's just the harness, the seatbelt, everything plugged in. So bear with me. Okay, so Jeep starts up. This is your dash. Okay. Now, keep in mind, my low tire pressure, that's been on, not related to this at all. Headlights are on, traction control, that, again, that is my stability track. That has nothing to do with this. That was on prior to anything I was doing. So the two new lights are my airbag light right here and the seatbelt light here. Now, if I take this dummy clip, click it in, that's all I'm doing, come back up here, no more seatbelt light. So that's what I wanted, that's what I was looking for. So yeah, so now I'm gonna help, we're gonna get this other seat disassembled, taken apart, and then hopefully get all the wiring, everything tucked away, and start putting the new Motobilt brackets and the PRP seats in, and as well as the harness bar that goes up there. So we're gonna get back to it. Wham bam, just like that, we got the harnesses tucked up underneath of the carpets, like I said I wanted to do. Basically, you just pull this carpet back and then this carpet up, and you kind of tuck the harnesses in there. Same on the driver's side. So it looks factory. It looks better than factory, not gonna lie. So next up is getting this harness bar, which I showed you already earlier, but I'm gonna put that in now. We're working on getting that put in and drilling holes and shit. And then I'm going to, once I get that mocked up and all the holes drilled, and I'm gonna paint that, and while that's being painted and drying and all that, whatever nonsense, then I'll start working on getting the seat brackets in and mounting up the new seats and all that fun shit. Let's go on, guys. So it's a different day, day two. It's the day after yesterday, which was today. Yesterday was tomorrow, but today it's today. Yesterday we were working on the Jeep. We got the harness bar, the rear harness bar painted up and everything, but today it came in. Got her installed. Got one of the harnesses wrapped on there already. Power tank mount works with this rear harness bar, so that's pretty cool. I wasn't sure if it would. There's one bolt that you can see right here that I wasn't sure. It touches a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. You can still get it on there tight, so I think I'm gonna run that for the time being. Maybe get like some tube mounts in the future and put it on the harness bar, the power tank that is. Working on the front seats now. Driver's seat, getting the brackets and stuff put in and mocked up. We basically got the passenger seat done. I'm dead, I'm so tired. This has been a painful install on all this shit. The holes for the bolt, or for the front harness bar, all the holes we had to drill for the harness bars were next to impossible. So that was a pain in the ass. That's what's taking the most time. We got I guess we got all the holes drilled now. 4 holes there, 4 holes on the other side. A little bit of paint scratch in the meantime, but that's okay. So So I got the bars, I've just coated it with the first layer of paint, so we'll get that installed. Final installation of that will be today. And like I said, we're getting the seats buttoned up and everything. The brackets are pretty self-explanatory, and if they're not, then you know, you can probably look at the instructions. A couple of hiccups with the seats. The sliders, there's a cable that connects the sliders for the new Motobilt brackets. There's like a wire, basically, is what it is. And it's supposed to connect the driver's side, or I guess the outside to the inside, the outside slider to the inside slider. And it's too long. I don't know if I'm putting it in wrong, which I might be, but I'm probably not, because I'm always right. So it's too long. Also, make sure if you get these, check all your brackets before you paint them. I did, so I was lucky, but I was actually missing all four of the brackets that attach the seats to the mounts. So make sure you go through all your packaging if that's what you did. Obviously, especially if you're powder coating it, if you're sending it off to get it powder coated somewhere. So that's the last thing you want is to send everything off, or what you think is everything, and then go to install it and realize, oh shit, I'm still missing stuff. So double check that. Motobilt was real good about it. I called them on a Monday morning and was like, hey, I'm missing these brackets. They sent me an email with the parts list and said, hey, circle whatever you're missing and we'll send it out to you. And I had it in 3 days. So great customer service there. But like I said, just double check, make sure, as you should be with all your orders and everything that you're, especially with installations. But yeah, it's coming together. It's coming together. First time having the top off. Got the rear doors off to be able to get the bar in, the harness bar for the front. But I got my brothers helping too. I'm telling you, if I was trying to do this by myself, no way I'm getting this done in a day and a half, 2 days. No fucking way. We were here for probably 8 hours last night, wrenching and drilling and doing shit. It's kicked our asses, but they've been huge helps. So if you're looking at doing this, definitely look and see if you can find some help, because you're gonna fucking want it. The bits, they're all 1/4-inch holes for the harness bars, but they're drill slow, take your time. That's what the instructions say, and that's what you try. Drill slow, take time, but it still dulls the fucking bits out. We got the hard steel, I think the cobalt bits or whatever the fuck they're called. We got those and they kind of work, but not really. I ended up, I mean, just look at all this shit. It's kind of messy, you know. We've got all of these wrappers from bits, Cheez-Its, because snacks, but all this shit, all these bits, everything gone through, everything. And again, we tried, obviously it's 1/4-inch, so my experience, I was like, oh, I'll drill a couple like pilot holes, you know, smaller holes to do like an 1/8 and then 3/16 and then go to a 1/4 or something like that. And tried that, but the small bits were wanting to break because they weren't cutting through, so you try and apply a little bit of pressure, they'd snap off. So it took a lot of fighting, but we ended up getting it done. So hopefully once we go to put it in the final, put the bar once it's coated and painted, that'll go smoothly. We can get the plastics and shit put back, get all the harnesses attached and installed, and call it a day. All right, so we just finished up everything. It's been a long weekend. We're trying to get stuff kind of cleaned up and tidied up now because it's like 11 o'clock and I got work tomorrow. But everything is in.
Down south slanging, rolling with these hustlers, trying to get rid of all you haters and you busters. Down south slanging, rolling with these hustlers, trying to get rid of all you haters and you busters. What's the sense of it all?
New seats, harnesses, got the bars in. Rear seats, rear harness, power tank, everything up. So it's definitely a pain in the ass. The harness bars were definitely the biggest pain of that. The seat brackets were pretty straightforward. You just reuse the factory bolts. 4 factory bolts to attach those, and there's hardware included with the Motobilt stuff to attach the miscellaneous brackets there and the seats. Yeah, so we're putting doors back on it, getting the top put on, and we're gonna call it a night and a weekend. So wasn't much of a relaxing weekend, but it was productive to say the least. So yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.